Hey guys, this is Eric with Mediavine, and this is our SEO Like a CEO series. And today I'm going to be talking to you about external links or outbound links. So what am I referring to when I'm talking about external links? So external links are anytime you are linking to another website. So I'm not referring to when websites link to you. Those are called generally backlinks or inbound links. We're specifically talking about external links or outbound links and how they can help you with SEO. So you may be confused. Most people, when they think of external links, think about people linking to them to help with their SEO. We'll tell you we're actually going to talk about how you should be linking to other websites and how it can actually help with your SEO. All right, so if you remember back to my PageRank video, a lot of what I talked about is that no man is an island, right? You can't link to other people unless external links come into your site. So keep that in the back of your mind of why external links are so important. They are literally the foundation of the Google algorithm. So you can imagine that Google probably wants to encourage you to link out to other people, be a good citizen. Obviously the links into you are the most important, right? But in terms of your page rank, but in terms of your ranking, you're actually going to need both. All right, so where are we getting this information from? As usual, this comes from Google. So if you listen to a great video that we linked to in the blog post from John Mueller, basically a publisher directly asked, does linking to other websites help or hurt your SEO? And John Mueller described or answered the best way that Google could, right? They're always a little bit cryptic in their answers, but they said, yes, it's actually a good user experience to link to other things, right? It helps your user establish trust in what you're saying. They get a little more context about what you're saying. And that's ultimately what Google's trying to do, right? They're trying to return the most trustworthy, best content for the user. So if they're flat out saying this is like the best user experience to link to other trustworthy subjects, you should probably be doing it. They also refer to external and outbound links in the SEO Starter Guide. So again, everything I'm telling you here is backed up by Google. So let's proceed and go on and why you should be linking to other people. All right. So first off, the question is generally who you should be linking to, right? Because that's the most important thing. Whenever you're going to be linking to another person on something, you want to make sure that you are going to trust them yourself because you're about to tell your users you can trust this source. So only link to people you trust. This is incredibly important. So make sure you're linking to experts in the field. If you're linking to your friends, which is often happens in the blogging community, make sure these are bloggers that you actually trust the recipes of. You're not just doing it because you're friends with them. These are people that produce good recipes or great lifestyle content, people that are experts in the field. Incredibly important, again, that you are linking to other experts. So example, in this particular blog post, I'm going to link to Google because who's the authority on how Google works? Google. Or if I'm going to link to other experts, it's going to be established SEO experts in the field. And those are people that I can ultimately tell you to trust, right? If I link to them, you're going to say, Eric, trust this SEO guy. He must know what he's talking about. So it's incredibly important, right? You see that transfer of trust. That's the entire idea behind PageRank, right? Okay, so we have established really who you should link to, but why? Why is it important to have an external link? Again, look back to what John Mueller said, right? You're ultimately conferring that trust to that site, but then you're also now helping establish trust with your user. Why do you trust me when I tell you about SEO? Because everything I say, I can back up with something from another expert or Google, right? That helps you now trust my video or my blog post. That's the entire idea behind this, right? You are actually able to back up your blog post now by linking to an expert. So look at your links as almost like a citation when you had to do them back in school, right? You couldn't produce a report without having citations. It's the same concept with your website. Make sure that users and therefore Google can trust your content by linking to another expert. It also helps with context, as John Mueller said, right? So it's going to help Google understand what your content's about because chances are they've already indexed who you're linking to, already established them as an expert, and now they know, okay, this is what you are blogging about because you link to them. Who you link to ultimately tells Google so much about your content. I don't know if you guys remember Google bombing in the past. This is a thing kind of happened in like the 90s or 2000s. Really, I mean, there's the famous one with miserable failure where they linked to George W. Bush. And he had no content on his website about him being a miserable failure, you can imagine, right? But enough people linked to him on that term using that same anchor text, and they were able to bubble up that ranking. Well, Google combated all this because that wasn't the only prank that people did, right? That was one example of Google bombing. So in order to combat this, This is why they looked at not just inbound links where you can manipulate things, but outbound. You choose who you link to in an outbound link. On an inbound link, you don't choose. So in a lot of ways, outbound links are important because you control them. Google understands this. Google recognizes this. So I've talked a lot about how it can help your direct ranking, but it can also help your indirect ranking. And the reason why is because if you're going to be a good citizen and link out to other people, they're going to notice that. In systems such as WordPress, there's things like trackbacks and pingbacks. They actually get notified when you link to them. So they know, okay, this person's linking to me. I should keep them in the back of my mind as a source that I can link to. You're basically showing people you're a good community member by linking around. So some advice that Google gives is always be careful who you're linking to. A lot of what I touched on before, make sure you're only linking to authorities. This is super important with the no follow or rel equals no follow tag. I don't want anyone to abuse that. Don't no follow all of your links because everything I said, this entire video is negated if you use a no follow link. Never use that unless you absolutely need to. Rel equals no follow basically says, hey Google, I don't trust this source I'm about to link to, or I'm not passing on my trust. So Google is no longer going to index that the same way they would if you didn't put a no follow. And the default behavior is just don't put anything, and it just works perfectly. If you're familiar with no follow, the reason you're supposed to be using that is because someone paid you for the link. Google doesn't want you to transfer on your trust if you are paid because that's a violation of the trust. So that also applies to affiliate links. And if it's a site that you're speaking negatively about, maybe you don't want to transfer your trust to. Maybe an example they give in the SEO Starter Guide is you're talking about maybe a spammer. You don't want to pass on your trust to that spammer. So those are pretty much the only instances you should be using no follow. Amber actually has a great blog post I'm going to link to in my post that accompanies this that talks about no follow that I recommend you check out. But the most important thing that you have to think about, external links actually help you. I know a lot of people always think, but if I give out external links, that's going to be giving away my page rank or helping my competitors rank above me. Sure, that is one way of looking at it. But what I like to say is instead, think of yourself as those experts. The only way you're going to become that expert is if you are also linking to experts and you just rise with them. Don't worry about them beating you. That may happen in the short term, absolutely. I am not so worried that Google is going to be beating me on SEO content because I'm ultimately going to produce more and better SEO content than Google currently does. I have no problems linking to Google. You shouldn't have problems linking to your competitors, knowing you are going to produce as good or better content. Have that in the back of your mind. But most importantly, if you think back to our PageRank example that we gave, your PageRank is kind of divided out amongst all your links on the page. So if you do have an external link, just balance it out with a lot of internal links. Rule of thumb I like to use, if you're going to have an external link, make sure you have 4 to 5 internal links. So now you're only giving away 20% or even less if you can have more internal links. So you don't have to be giving away all of your PageRank. Keep as much of it as you can. Go back to our internal links and think, how often can I internally link to myself? And therefore the external links won't dilute your PageRank. They're only going to help you with your rankings. Be a good citizen. Be a good internet publisher. Link out, link to authorities, and you will only help your ranking. So thank you guys. This was our SEO Like a CEO series. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you guys next week.